All right, guys, we've made it to the end of our first 6 weeks. The CBA is tomorrow, and so that's going to test everything you've learned in our class, but you are totally going to rock it, so we don't have anything to worry about. I know you guys will already know how to do this problem, but I need to just walk through it so I can practice. So this first problem says, Andy is making a picnic table for his backyard. He wants the table to measure at least 32 inches wide. If he uses boards that are 2 2/3 inches wide, how many boards will he need to use? All right, so we always want to read the problem first, and then we're going to go ahead and text code. So Andy is making a picnic table for his backyard. He wants a table to measure at least 32 inches. So at least 32 inches. If he uses boards that are 2 2/3 inches wide, how many boards will he need to use? So I'm going to underline how many boards, because that is what the problem is asking for. That way, once I read and answer the problem, I'm going to come back and read it and make sure I'm answering this question here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a picture because I like pictures and they're super duper helpful. So do you guys know which operation we're doing yet? You probably do, huh? So we want to make a table, and we are using boards that are 2 2/3 inches each. So what operation are we going to do? So I'm cutting the surface, the entire measurement of the table, into pieces that are 2 2/3 each. So what operation? Division. Perfect. So I'm going to take 32 because that's what I'm dividing into smaller pieces. I'm going to divide it by 2 2/3. So we all know that to change a whole number to a fraction, we have to put it over 1. And I can't divide with mixed numbers, so I have to do what? Good. Change it to improper fractions. So I'm going to work this way. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. So 8 divided by 3. But instead of dividing fractions, we flip them so that we multiply instead. So then I multiply across. So I'm going to do 32 times 3. And then 1 times 8. And now I have an improper fraction. So to go from an improper fraction to a mixed number, you're going to do top in, bottom out. 8 goes into 9 one time. Subtract 9 minus 8 is 1, 16. 2 times 8 is 16. I subtract, I get 0. And there it is. So it is equal to 12. So I'm going to go back and read it. So he's making a picnic table. He wants a table to measure at least. So can it measure 32 inches? Yes, it says at least. It can't measure less than 32 inches. If he uses boards that are 2 2/3 inches wide, how many boards will he need to use? So perfect. Did I answer the question? Yes, so he needs to use 12 boards. Okay, moving along to the next question. John and his cousins are scuba diving in the Gulf of Mexico. They dove to see a shipwreck at a depth of 54 feet. The elevation of John's home in Houston is 80 feet above sea level. What is the difference in the elevation of John's house and the shipwreck? So of course, I'm going to tell you to draw a picture. So here I go, drawing a picture. I'm going to say his house is up here. All right. So, and we need a ship down here, huh? Okay. We don't have brown. So we'll say here's our shipwreck. Yes, you probably could have done better. That's true. But okay, it's all broken. So back to the problem. So they dove to see a shipwreck at a depth of 54 feet. So depth. is that above or below the water? Below, which you know because I already drew the picture, sorry. And then the elevation of his home is 80 feet above sea level. So that's positive or negative? Positive, good. What is the difference in elevation between the house and the shipwreck? So here we are. We have our shipwreck and our house. So our shipwreck is at negative 54, right? Because it's below the water. And then we have 80 feet above the water. And it's asking for this difference. So essentially the water line is 0 on our number line, right? Yes. So if it's going through, if it's on both sides of 0, on a number line, we're going to add the numbers together. You'll also know that by saying, okay, depth of 54, and then we know difference is subtraction, so minus 80 feet. Well, you can't subtract with negatives, so you have to do boom, boom, or add the opposite. So now I'm adding 80 plus 54, so I have 134, and I look at it and I say, okay, they have the same sign, so I keep my sign, but wait. Let me look at the problem again. It says they dove to see the shipwreck, negative 54 feet versus 80 feet above sea level. What is the difference? And I know that difference must be positive. So if it was asking for the elevation, then it could be a positive or a negative, but it's asking for the difference. So it's asking for essentially 80 plus 54. It's asking for the distance on the line between these two numbers. So my answer is going to be 134. Good job, guys.